So I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about things that we tell ourselves in our minds and actually how this goes to cause issue with you and your life. Now, the caveman in our mind tends to go to the negative response, and a lot of the time the things that we're making up about ourselves are always negative. We're thinking we're the most talented, the least talented, the least competent, the least capable, the least attractive, whatever it is. Now, the reckoning is actually the moment to step back and to observe the I, okay, to observe the voice that is talking, because a lot of the time people come to me and they say, I've got this voice inside my head that's always bashing me. I find it really hard to move through that. And if I sit there and I say to you, think that you're a pink unicorn, and in your head say, I'm a pink unicorn, I'm a pink unicorn, you are not going to become a pink unicorn. However, when you're saying something that could possibly be factual, you take it as fact. The voice inside your head becomes this all-knowing oracle that knows everything about life and society and about yourself, and you take it as read. Now, the interesting thing is when you can do these kind of stepping back and watching the eye, observing the eye, and think to yourself, who is this person that is talking to me all the time in my head? And why are they the oracle? Why are they somebody that I should listen to all the time? Because I know when not to listen to it, and I take credence from it at other points. And why is that? Why is it that I ignore it when it's saying I am a pink unicorn in comparison to saying that I am a terrible person? Why do you listen to it one way but you don't listen to the other? And the interesting point is because the more detrimental this voice can be to yourself is actually a protective stance to stop you from going against the clan, stop you from going against the tribe, and allow you to become somebody who is much more personable. Now, this makes more sense when you're looking at things outside of the age and era that we're in. When we were cavemen, it was a good idea not to go against the tribe, not to stand out, not to be different. We had an alpha and a beta. Most of us were betas. Most of us did what we were told. We did what we were informed by the elders of the tribe, or by our partners, or by the alpha of whomever or whatever. And this led us to be much more subservient to the voice and to be much more subservient to trend, which is, why we see things like fashion and culture and traditions, because people don't like to go against the norm. People find it very difficult to go against the norm. And so you're left in this situation where you are listening to the I, and you're taking it as truth and you're taking it as fact, when actually you should be challenging it. You should be challenging these thought patterns that say that you're the worst person since sliced bread. And how to do that? It's an interesting thing of how do you challenge these thought processes when there's somebody inside your mind that is always having a go at you. Should one challenge the thought process? Well, fact finding is really important, sitting there and looking at something. If somebody says to you, oh, you're somebody that nobody wants to be friends with, well, have you ever had friends before? Probably. Have you ever had a partner? If somebody says that if in your mind you've got the voices telling you the most ugliest, unattractive, nastiest person, nobody would ever want to be with you. Well, have you had a partner before? Are you dating? Are you in a relationship? Have you got friends? And start to go on these fact-finding processes. And the point of it is to look at reality and use reality to alleviate this thought process in your mind. We have these very negative self-chatter tapes that are playing all the time, over and over and over. But actually, how real is it? And I was listening to Joe Rogan the other day, and Daryl Davis, I think the man's name was, who wrote on Ku Klux Klan. He's a black musician that managed to get into being friends with the Ku Klux Klan, and he went to dinner one night to meet these people that he befriended, and managed to get the leader of the Ku Klux Klan's address, and he wanted to set up an interview with him, and he managed to do that. And the leader of the Ku Klux Klan within that realm, with that area, came to the interview, and he sat in front of Daryl, and he told him all the reasons why he was racist and why he thought that black people were subordinate to white people. And Daryl Davis just sat there and listened to all of it. And Joe Rogan asked him, like, did you not get offended? How did you find that you couldn't get offended when somebody is literally saying that you and all of people like you are, all these terrible things? And the thing about it is that Daryl said that was why get offended in it, because there was no truth to any of it. And this is the point, I don't get offended very often, and people can think what they like about me because I do this whole fact-finding thing about it. Somebody says to me, whatever, I kind of think about it, is there any truth in it? If there's truth in it, then you can take it as something that is a point and an opportunity to change and challenge yourself, and that's a positive thing. But if there is no truth to it, if somebody's saying that you're the worst person that they've ever met, that you're this, you're that, you're the other, and you actually sit down and you do fact finding on these ideas and you realize that there is no truth in it, why would you become offended, and why would you take that into yourself? And the thing about it is most of the thoughts that we have are kind of not really true. It's biased. There's either there may be some truth and resonance to it, but a lot of the ideas that we have about ourselves are actually made up. And we're probably different people to every single person that we know. If you sat down and you asked all of your friends, all of the people that know you, your boss, your colleagues, your family, your children, whomever, to describe you and to give keywords, a lot of the keywords will probably be different for different people because of the perception and the relationship that you have with them. And so there's this idea that you only have one form of you, but it's not. There's a million different yous, and you're a different you every day. You're a different you every moment, depending on whom you're with and what situation you're in. And so when we sit there and try to kind of determine who we are, how can you truly determine who you are? And so a lot of these negative things that you are saying about yourselves are made up. You're making them up and then you're running with them. And the question is, if you're going to make up things about yourself and tell yourself lies about who you are, why are you making those bad things? Why are you doing yourself the injustice of saying such cruel and untruthful things to yourself? You may as well make it up good. You may as well tell yourself that you're the best person in the world. You may as well tell yourself that you're the kindest, that the most intelligent, the most wonderful. You may as well, because what harm can that do? The harm that could do is actually give you the confidence to go forward and do the things that you want to do with your life. And so I say make it up good. And if you want to call yourself a pink unicorn, you go for it. But find fact with it. Find fact with the things you tell yourself and follow suit with it. If you think that you are the most confident and competent, then you act in a confident and competent way. You find fact behind it. If you think that you are somebody who's capable and able and kind and loving, then you go out, you find facts that go alongside with that. But if you're going to sit and tell yourself that you're the worst person, that you're the most unkind, the ugliest, the most unattractive, look for fact in that, and actually you'll realize that the things that you're telling yourself aren't true, and the things that you're telling yourself are hindering your opportunity to be your best. They're hindering your opportunity to have the relationships that you deserve in your life, and they're hindering the opportunity for you to go forward and live your life the way that you should be. So good luck, take care, have a fabulous weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.